This was the most traumatic thing that happened in my life, in all of our baby boom life. 9/11 was intense, but this was even more intense, and yet we did not actually see this. No, what we remember is this. This was the most dramatic thing any baby boomer ever saw, and we saw it live. It was the first time we saw anybody get killed live on national TV. And the thing is, who shot Oswald? Jack Ruby. But despite the Warren Commission, despite 50 years of evidence, 60% of the American people believe that Oswald was part of a conspiracy. We went out on the streets of Charleston to find out what you thought. Are you satisfied 50 years later as to whether Oswald was a lone gunman or not?
That is a good question. I spoke to a noted local historian this morning who recounted a story about a former FBI agent in South Carolina, and this historian, who shall remain nameless, interviewed this gentleman upon his retirement and asked him if he knew or could share any information about the Kennedy assassination. And he said that the FBI agent said, "I cannot talk about it, but in 50 more years, when this information is finally released, you will be shocked by what you think you know." Okay. So I love that answer. Am I satisfied that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone? I think he did fire those rounds, and I think he did an incredible lucky. It's called the Golden BB, and he did it, and he killed her. What motivated him to get to that point, I don't know.
Okay. Do you even care?
I care. I don't particularly think about it because, I mean, it has been 50 years, so even if he wasn't the only person that was involved, we're not going to ever find out, probably. And even if we do find out, there's not much we can do about it. So I kind of don't even really consider the option that he wasn't the only one involved.
Okay, what about you?
Do I think about it? Well, I've seen a lot of documentaries and movies on the subject, but and of course it all leads up to a lot of events in our present-day lives, but on a day-to-day basis, I can say that doesn't really run across my mind.
Okay. It's been 50 years since Oswald shot Kennedy. How do you think that played out? I mean, do you subscribe? They say 60% believe that he didn't act alone. What do you think?
There's still a shadow of a doubt as to whether he, because I remember that day I was there. I mean, I was watching Walter Cronkite, the old black and white television as a kid. I think, in knowing what I know about shooting, I would say there had to be at least two guys. I had one of those Manolinchi Carcano rifles at 7.62. I don't know whatever happened to it, but it's the worst piece of junk in the world. I still subscribe that there was not just Oswald alone, that he was backed up by somebody. So years ago, you know, we didn't have the technology we have now, and of course that has been the most studied assassination, I think, in the past 2 centuries, 3 centuries, and the technology today, it just kind of shows that it would be impossible for some of the bullets, the way that one bounced up, hung in midair, turns left and then turned right or whatever, and hit Conley. All that stuff is just, I think, is going to be open to suspicion and question and controversy for a long time. I think we might have come a little bit further, but I don't know if we're ever going to know. Because I think if we do open up that Pandora's box, there may be a Godzilla inside there.
I think.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think it played out?
I think it probably played out just the way I thought 50 years ago. And I think Oswald probably did it, but, you know, we'll never know.
Okay. 50 years later.
50 years later, I think the Warren Commission was essentially right, and that Oswald probably did it. I know there's some skepticism about it and some alternative theories, but I don't see anything that's very convincing about that.
You think he did it alone?
Yes.
There was no grassy knoll?
Could have been a grassy knoll.
Yeah. All right.
My personal impression is that he did not act alone. That's my personal impression.
Why?
Just a collection of information that I've been privy to over a lot of years that basically suggests to me that he did not act alone.
Ooh, I don't know. That was way before my time.
Do you even care about that stuff?
It's interesting. I've watched a few documentaries on it, but like I said, what year did that happen? What,
63.
63? Yeah, that was 25 years before I was born.
Okay.
That's longer. That was longer than I am old.
Okay, fair enough.